Hello and welcome to the virtual table. I'm talking about a game called Calyx, or Calyx, however you want to pronounce it. It is currently on Steam right now, and it looks like it's about 22 bucks. It is early access, so be warned. A lot of things are going to change. It does have a campaign that goes through what they call three epochs of science. It looks like there's five epochs total planned for the game. What is it? It is I mean, you can see some pictures here. It is StarCraft and tower defense mixed together. Like if you could just like if I could pick two things that it reminds me of, it's StarCraft and tower defense mixed together. Um, the StarCraft is much more watered down, so there's a lot less options. But the tower defense is more refined and more important. And so, anyways, that's what this game is. It's Calyx. Um, I have played, and you can see there's different reviews here. Um, I have played the entire campaign, and I've also finished two of the challenges, and have done several of the skirmishes. In fact, one of the skirmishes I really love. I replayed it like four times because it's just so much fun to play. Um, the good and the bad of this. The good is if you like StarCraft and tower defense, you're going to like this game. And I do really like this game. That's why I'm showing it. The bad is that it's once I figured out like how I like to play it, I play every mission almost the same, and it does have a like the repeatability of it sort of falls. And the only thing that makes one mission to the next challenging is that they just put things in ridiculous locations and you have to run and defend it. And it's on the other end of the map, for example, and it's really hard to go defend that thing because you're busy trying to protect your base at the same time. Um, it's a little cheesy because of that. Now, which one wins? Is the cheesiness going to ruin it for you, or is it going to be awesome? For me, it's an awesome experience, but over time, it felt more cheesy. But at the end, I was like, boy, that was still worth my money. Like I still liked it. So, how do you feel about it? I can't say that for you. I'm just giving you my thoughts and my words. Um, so let me just jump in. This is what Calyx looks like. It's a very um, simple game, and I guess I could do a new campaign. Let's see if I try to continue my campaign. So here you can see the campaign is made up over four areas. Each area has about 4 or 5 missions in them. So you're looking at 5, 10, 15, 20 total missions, and I bet it's less than 20. Because I think some of these only have 4. But the point I'm trying to make though is it's about 20 missions total, and they get like this whole area here is just tutorial nonsense. Here you're finally breaking free from the tutorial, but you're still getting new things introduced. And it's not until the volcanic rift that you're finally let free, and then the mineral fields is where it really gets good. Um, I would say that it didn't get really good until here, but I enjoyed it the most here because it was all like new to me, right? And then you get this. This is the tech tree, and you can see there's a lot of research, right? This is level 1, then there's level tier 2 they called it, and then you got tier 3, and then there's the epoch 4 I was talking about, which is to come later. I have 28 research points. You can see there's things I haven't researched yet, so if I wanted to research this, I could spend 3 points on that, and so forth. So that is a completed campaign. If you wanted to, let's go to the title. Under skirmish, this is the best map to play. By far and away, it's the best map to play, and the best start for you is right down here. And The problem with this particular map is they actually have enemies starting down there. So you can like switch it around. So now there's an enemy here and an enemy there. And actually there's nothing up here. So you could even change that a little bit. So the enemy you can see is moving around. But what you want is you want this clear, and you want enemies to be as much of the other places as possible. So anyways, in this situation, I'm starting here in the corner. Why is starting in the corner so good? Well, this faction is your enemy, but so are each of these factions that you see here. They're called the Calyx, and they fight each other at the same time that they're fighting you. And this faction wants nothing more than to kill you. So they will fight through the Calyx to get to you. And because you have the Calyx in between you and them, it's wonderful chaos. That's why I really like this mission. But it's an advanced mission. You're going to experience everything. The skirmishes, like I said, is where most of that is at. The challenges you can see, there's these check marks. These are objectives. And it's just showing that I completed 2 of the challenges and met all the objectives. This holdout one was fun because it was survival. But, excuse me. So what do? Do I show you a skirmish, which has everything? Let's just play a new campaign. Why not? So, what they're doing here... Here, let me get a drink and cough a bit. Okay. Much better. Let's make sure my microphone's working, because that's always a thing that happens when I pause. Okay, so as you can see, we're waking up from a long journey. The story to this game is, it's okay. There's nothing earth-shattering about this. So now you can see things are starting back up. We're a mining ship. We detected a bunch of stuff on the planet. And feel free to pause if you need to read all the stuff. It's just a bunch of... They wake someone up who's basically the chef and janitorial. So, it's a little funny. So basically the chef and janitorial person is the only one who woke up. And then he's speaking, where am I? You know, what's going on? And we got permission to extract ore from the planet. So they're sending him in a launch pad, and off he goes. And then boom, here we are. So I mean, it's comical. So like I said, don't take it too seriously, because it's not. So we go to the landing site, and here there's only 2 missions. So there you go. We're already under 20. Some of them will have 5. So let's do first contact. Every mission looks like this. So this is the Calyx. You can see right here is a little symbol. And he has, you'll see what I mean. Max enemy level is 1, which means they're really weak. And we're going to start in this area here. It's going to be an extremely simple mission. We're not going to have any research or technology. They're explaining this is our hub. If it's destroyed, the mission is over. That is true. The hub does have some really nice machine guns on top of it. It can hold its own against quite a lot of enemies. Usually we get to place the hub, but they already placed it for us. They're telling us about the mini-map. This is our minerals to refine. They gives us objectives up here. Excuse me. And we need to build. So we got mining buildings, and this is our refinery. E and Q rotate. I know that's a little unintuitive, but it is E and Q, so I'm going to put one here. And then I have to click on power and build a pylon. See all this white? That's where power is. So I'm going to put one here and there. And now the power from my hub and this are connected. So, alright, and then everything requires power. So they want me to build solar panels to power them. That is a fair thing to say. I'm going to do 3
Understood.
harvesters to start grabbing these. Very Command and Conquer, if you remember those old games. And we're going to build some hubs here. Now, where is the power? Right here. This is the power. We are at max power. We're generating 50. We're consuming 20. We currently have 0 minerals. So now they're telling us to build pylons. I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves. So we're supposed to build pylons to connect everything, which I've already done. Now they're telling me this is where the power is stored. And we need harvester vehicles, so they want me to build 2. I built 3. And off we go. So then we got to move the ore off the surface of the planet into orbit, and when we do that, we get gold. There's a lot of holes in this plot. Because, like, who am I selling the ore to? Because you'll later find out that we're, like, stranded in space and no one's near us. But anyways, we can speed up the game here, which I rarely ever do, by the way. And this, of course, is not in every game. Like I said, this first mission is tutorial. Here you can see we need to harvest 300 ore and build 1 ore transport. Now, an ore transport is this thing, which takes 300 ore. So that's going to take a while. So let me just explain some things the game's not explaining yet. There are super minerals called isotopes, which are here. And we're not going to discover those for quite a few missions. There's a cap on the number of units you can control. These 3 harvesters count as 3 towards that cap. The cap is 20, and I have 3 of them. I'm currently at max power, which is 5,000. If you click on power here, there will eventually be buildings that let you store more power, like batteries. So you can have a higher power load. Also, you have a cap of 1,100 minerals. There's a way to increase that cap. And then we're going to go ahead and get a ore transport. It's basically a space shuttle. So what it'll do is it'll take off into space and take your ore, and it converts it into money, credits. Now, you could set, like, how much reserve you want to keep, because you need ore to pay for things as well. So you don't always want it all to convert to money. Here's explaining it. It turns into credits. It does use a lot of power to launch these things. That is true. Now they want me to send 200 ore to the mothership to earn 200 credits. And there's an ore reserve that keeps this amount here. That's what I was just getting ready to explain. So if I wanted to always have 600 ore available to me, I can move this number up to 600, and the space shuttle won't take off until we go over 600. Right now it's at 100, which just means the space shuttle will take off now, basically. So you can see it's actually charging up, and it's using more power, and then boom, there it goes. Then the power usage drops. So it'll take a few seconds. It's going up, and then right there you can see we're getting 100 a minute, and so we just got 100 credits, and then down it comes back down. We're already over the threshold of 100, so as soon as this thing lands, it's going to start charging up again, and it's sucking ore away. So we're actually going down in ore because it's loading up more ore, and it's going to take off again. And yes, we could build more than one of these, so we can, you know, I found that if your refinery is reasonably close to the minerals, having 3 harvesters is the most ideal. So now it's telling me I need to repair damage because my hub took damage somehow. So I could come here and I could click this button. The better way to do it is just click this button right here. It repairs everything. And then you'll see a little sign comes up and it's repairing itself. So, again, this is tutorial stuff. So we don't have a lot of autonomy yet. And trust me, you'll get autonomy. It's just right now you gotta just do what it says. Now, this is Calyx. And this thing here is called a creepvine. So now we have to build walls, gates, and turrets to protect our canyon entrance. So they're telling us we could shut this off to gain more ore. So all the ore stays on the planet. The better way to do that is just pump this up to 600. So we keep our ore. And if we go over 600, then so be it. Now, there is a unit factory, which I will build. This lets us produce units that we can use in combat. And I'm just putting it here because it's going to have power. Then we have defenses. So they're letting us, we can put up a gate, like so. And then we can put walls straight across. Like that. And then it's telling us the green is the range. So I'm putting up a, this is a machine gun tower. So I'm going to put one here, and there, and there, and there. Now you could make it part of the wall. So these two are inside the wall, and these two are in front of the wall, which if you zoom in enough, it just made the wall, you know, bend, if you will. So this is a straight wall, whereas now by putting it in front of the wall, I made it so it has a little bit better range. It's not that big of a deal, but this symbol just means we don't have power. And if you look at our power, yeah, I got to get one of these pylons in. So that just provides power for those two. So we're just going to put in multiple pylons there. And as they finish, now they want us to build some ranger units. They want us to build 4 of them. There you go. There's 4 of them queued up. At any time, you can always deactivate a building, which will reduce how much power it's consuming. So if you're concerned about that, they were telling us to deactivate this, for example. And then I have 2 of them built. I can tell them all to go here.
Ready to serve.
And there you can see, we deployed our defense force.
Ready for action.
Alright, so you can select them and do Control 1. And then now they're, all you have to do is just press the 1 key and you select them all. They want us to move here. Again, tutorial. This plant life is blocking our way. And they want us to, so we can right click and drag.
Understood.
And now they're going up and killing the plant life. Now, what this thing is, it's called a calyx. If I destroy this, everything dies. So I really just want to go right up the middle. If I destroy these little vines, like right here, everything will die. Here, watch. I'll show you. So now that I killed that vine, everything is dying outside of it. See that? So that's how the plants work. So by getting at the core vines, or just going after the core itself, we can make the plant disappear. Now, trust me, it gets a lot harder than this, because this plant fights back. Right now, the plant's being completely passive, but it'll lash out with its tendrils. Everything you see here will attack you, and it'll also aggressively grow towards you. So I just killed it, and now everything is dying. And that's exactly how it works. Doesn't matter how hard or what advanced level the game is. If you could destroy the core, you destroy everything. So they're explaining that to you here. Okay, so we finished the mission. I'm just a cook. Now they want you to go to phase 2. Redacted is unlikely. Okay, so we finished first contact. Now they want us to do probation. Again, enemy level 1. The core is way up here and here. So there's 2 different enemies now. On this one, we're likely going to start over here. They want us to charge an uplink module. Oh, that's what this is. Finish in under 20 minutes. Eliminate the Calyx. And build 3 bulwark tanks. So, not too hard here. 1 second. Okay. So, this mission is different than like the later ones. This one, we have to actually charge up an uplink module. That's the mission. Most of the missions are to kill the Calyx, which that the moment that you kill the Calyx, then you win. So this is a little bit different, but killing the Calyx is one of our objectives. And I don't know when they start introducing it, but these objectives, as you complete them, that's how you earn your research points. And research points are important in this game. So here we go. It's saying that the uplink module, as you can see here, is in the middle of all the Calyx. So they got Calyx there, there's Calyx here. It's everywhere, but it is very weak. It cannot spread and does very little damage. That will change, but for now, it is what it is. And so I'm going to, for example, put this here, and then we will build a refinery here. Get 3 harvesters out. Get some power going. Get some of this. So as it all finishes, you can see the harvesters are rolling out. Our power is okay. We do have a battery now that we can build. And then on the mining side, we actually have an extra silo, so we can store extra items. And then of course we have our defenses, which, like they said, the Calyx isn't spreading. But we need to actually build. So you would never do this, by the way, if the Calyx spread. But in this situation, it's very static. Let's get that going, because we got to get money generation. And like I said, this will have machine guns on top of it. It does not right now. That must be one of the science things that I eventually get. Okay, so we got that little ding. That just means that we sold some ore and got some money. And so, you know, what do we do next? One of the things we should do, and like I said, you would never do this. Like, the Calyx would destroy this thing before it ever finished building. But I'm going to put a machine gun tower here, and we're going to kill away some of this, because there's some minerals underneath this. We also need to put this down. And this is how we produce units. So let's go ahead and do that. And what they want me to do is they want me to produce 3 bulwark tiles, kill the Calyx, and charge up the uplink module. So we can get this done fairly quickly. And again, the Calyx is very passive, so I can just build right up next to him. And here's a bulwark. It costs 115 and 220. So we can go ahead and get one going.
Affirmative. Yes.
And I'm telling it to go here. They wanted me to build 3 of them. So that means we got to keep harvesting and keep launching.
Yes. Understood. You got it.
And I could build rangers, but the goal is bulwark. And to be quite honest, the bulwark is better than the rangers anyways. That's why they're more expensive. And you can see it gets busy. It's already attacking the Calyx. And there's so many minerals, it might be beneficial to have a second refinery built.
Affirmative. Always ready.
Alright, so we got a second one.
Understood.
Here you can see we're losing power because it's getting ready to launch, but the moment it launches, it'll charge right back up. And you can see, like, so we just killed this one branch, and now everything's clearing up.
Ready to
Same
serve.
over here. And we almost got this thing killed. So let's do that. Alright, so Calyx is dead. Now it becomes... I wish it was better at telling me where the edge was. So I can... And you literally do have to do this. Yeah, so I have to do all that just to get power up there. And then I'm going to... So now we need to activate it. The problem is, I don't have enough power to activate. We can try. See, it's sucking up so much power. And then it has to run for a period of time. And see, we ran out of power. So I need a lot more power. And power requires money. So what we're going to do is we're going to build another refinery. See, and now we're completely out of power because this thing's trying to take off. But it'll charge back up. And we need it to charge back up because I need to be able to buy some harvesters here. Once we get... There we go. We're going to get 2 harvesters going. So now we're going to have 2 refineries. And I'm going to build a second launch site. And here you can see we're running out of power again. I can like deactivate this, which will help a little. Let's just deactivate these for now. Get the power to charge back up. I'm going to activate one because I need the money. And I just need it to drain the power enough to launch. Which it didn't do. Here we go. So now it launched. So we're getting some power back. Going to get the very much needed credits, which is just 100 of them. But what we can do is we can get another one of these up. And You can see they cost 60 each. So the moment this finishes, we jumped up to 104. And this is so painful, isn't it? I mean, I could shut down my refinery. Alright, let's get another one going. So, even though the power is at 0, as you're getting power, the buildings are consuming it. So, basically, that launch thing does eventually happen. It just takes time. And like I said, if I could get a couple of these going, then we have continual power, and it's not as much of an issue. Here we're at 140 out of 141. And here you can see we're net positive, and it's charging up really quick. So it just launched again. And eventually I'm going to be able to turn this on. In fact, I'm going to do it now. So we're going to launch both of these. And I'm going to get 1, 2 more going. The rule of thumb is you want 4 per launch pad. We have 2 launch pads, so I want to build at least 1 more of these. That usually covers it. There you can do things like turn that back on, even though it doesn't do anything. Okay, so we got a system going. I can, if I wanted to, I could build a third one to really get the money generation going. The problem is I need a lot more power, because as soon as I turn this thing on, it needs power. We're at 10 minutes out of the 20. We're doing great. I do need to build another bulwark tank, so let's get that going.
Affirmative.
That's just to complete the objectives. And then they don't have to be built here. I can go, you know, the location doesn't matter. You're just building them wherever they can be safe. And usually out of the way, like, so they're not interfering with people. And then I can do things like, here we're gonna get a third one going. From a power perspective, we can build these. These are batteries. So I'm getting a net positive, but just not by much. And another thing is you don't need to launch to turn this thing on. So I want to at least get 1 battery going. That's going to increase our power storage. And now you can see I'm getting some serious money because I'm launching 3 times now. So our power storage just went up by 2,500 more. Let's get 1 more going. And then let's build as many more of these as we have money for currently. Alright, so we can do all that. And then I'm going to deactivate all the launchers. And we'll turn this on. And you can see we're at negative 190. We have plenty of power. In fact, I overdid it. So now we're up to 10,000. So I'm going to go ahead and turn one of these back on. And that's all we needed to do. So I overkilled it quite a bit. Alright, so we completed everything. So you can see the crew and the AI are talking, nothing super exciting. And we're already to the Southern Canyon. So there you go. There's 5 of them. So now we're getting into the meteor missions, and I think this is where we're going to start getting research points. And it's telling us that we can move to the region, which we did. And then if we pick this one, here you can see there's a whole bunch of resources, a natural line, and then a Calyx. Eliminating the Calyx is the primary objective. Max level 1. You want me to do it in 20 minutes and build and power 2 refineries and activate both harvest modules, which are these things. And those are things that just consume a lot of power. I usually don't like them for that reason. They consume a lot of power, but they do boost your harvest, so you harvest more. 1 second. Alright, so let's just jump in. Key thing, we gotta build 2 refineries. We gotta be relatively quick. We gotta activate both of these. I will tell you that all you have to do is activate them, and then you can just shut them right back off. And you get credit. So you don't have to activate them and leave them on. So, and I only stress this because the power modules are so expensive. So this is saying it, carry on your mining as usual. We do need to get, this thing is going to grow. And it's eventually going to hit our walls. I could put our little base near anything. So, yeah, let's put it here. So, boom. And then, it builds really quick, as you just saw. So we're going to go ahead and let's get one of those going. And I can only build 2 of them. We got to get one of these going, so we can get more gold. We need a lot more gold. And eventually we got to get some defenses up, because all we have is a gate and some walls. And that's not going to keep these guys out. And what I can do is, this says I need to hold 100 reserve. You can lower that to 0, which means that I want you to make me money as quick as possible. And I do recommend that, largely because, especially in the early game, you need money. And here's why. Yeah, so now we're learning that the plant spreads. These power nodes cost money, and then the solar nodes cost money. So you need money for both. And now the defense costs minerals, so that's your trade-off, right? So if I want to build a defense tower, I can, but I have no power, so I need money to bring power to the wall. So you see there's like a lot going on here, and look, I'm out of power because I just launched. I got a lot of issues, and I need money to resolve all of them. So I got to get one of these up. That's first. And then I got to do some of this. So 1, 2, and see, I'm out of money again. I'm out of everything, in fact. Out of power. Because remember, I told you we need 4 of these. We don't have 4. And they are spreading, as you can see. And we have plenty of this, so it's this that I need more of. So I think what I want to do is get another power up. And then we have 40 for pylons. I only need 20. Now I can start putting one here, one here. If I can afford more, I can do 2 more. It's nice to always have them in pairs so they can help each other. But having these 2 will be good. And here you can see I'm taking damage. but getting these finished is going to be a great help. So I'm beating back the Calyx. And now you could argue that, hey, I need more ore than I need money. And here you go. So I'm going to get one more in to there, and I would like to get one more there, but it's going to take me a bit because I am launching still. I can get a third one of these going, which is always a good idea. That'll get me more ore. And once I get my defenses up and I'm happy with them, like there, then we at least have them beat back so they won't break through. So now from here, I just want to be more efficient with generating resources. So I need 220 more to build another refinery. I need a lot of gold to get more power. There's a lot of things going on at once here. So there we go. We're going to get our 4 power going. Here you can see we're losing a little bit of power, but we're going to have plenty to keep this thing going full speed. And now that we got the 3 refineries, you know, we're inching up in the ore. And I do need to get to 220 here, which I'm going to get very soon. So now I'm going to put another one down. Like so.
Understood.
And I have no gold again, so the credits are the big restriction in the beginning. These are 80 each. So I need to launch 2 more times. And if you're wondering if I should get another one of these up, you are correct. And now they're both draining, so it's getting a little more precarious, but once I get some more gold going, I can build 4 more of these, and you can see how the pattern works itself out. In fact, I'm completely out of power at the moment. Let's get the 3rd one of those, and let's get at least 1 more of these up. And what I can do is, I can even do stuff like this. Alright, so we're very low in power. We get another one of these going. That generates a little more power. And another one. In the meanwhile, we're getting some more ore stored up, which is fine. And yes, the buildings without power, even the turrets take power, so we got to be careful. Because if you're going out of power all the time, when these 2 finish, we should be in good shape. Yeah, see, we're at 194. So the power is going to slowly go back up. It's like clockwork, 4 to 1. So there's a couple things we can do. And again, it's going to take a while to get all this up. So one of the things we can do is we can increase our storage. Increasing the storage helps because right now we're living low with 5,000. This will get it up to, I think, 10,000, which just means we have double the power to deal with these fluctuations. Also, there's no reason not to get your power first, right? So now I got 3 of the 4 I need for another refinery and shuttle. And you can see we're up to 10 grand now. And as soon as this next one goes up, we can build another refinery, which I'm going to do right here.
Yes.
And then these things are still launching, which is good because we're rolling in the ore. We're going to get a 3rd launch pad going. And we're going to get a harvester. Another one. And then we have enough to get our 4th one up. So we'll never be out of power. So now we got 3 harvesters going up. And that should make a big difference here. Because here you can see I got to buy 1 more harvester. I am going to increase this to 300 because I would like to keep ore reserve as these things are launching. But now we got to get busy. So we're going to go ahead and get some more pylons. Like so. And then what we can do is once this finishes, we'll be able to activate both. And here you can see the amount of power they need is up to near 400 once the shuttles are going. So it's more power than we actually have. So I'm going to go ahead and deactivate them. They do boost your harvest and all that stuff of resources, but we got the credit. That's all we need. Now, the thing we really got to get cracking on is we need to start building some troops because we have to kill this Calyx. So we're going to do that now. We got all of our resource generation going. We got plenty of money and ore rolling in. We have a cap of 20. You can increase the cap here and get plus 20 more. But right now, let's get up to our cap of 20. I am going to tell this guy I want to build troops and I want them to go there. And we're going to get bulwarks. We're going to get 5 of them going. If you have a ton of resources, you can build 2 of these and then, you know, generate even more.
Yes.
And yeah, it takes a while. So if I want to win this in 20 minutes, these guys got to get cracking. These rangers do produce quicker. They die easier, the rangers do. They also have to get a lot closer to kill. The rangers are really good though at killing the creep. Like this creep part doesn't hurt you. Well, actually it hurts you, but it only hurts you by creeping on you. The big vines here are easier to kill with the bulwarks. The bulwarks are really good at killing the bigger vines because they have like an explosive attack, whereas the rangers are more like a machine gun. And here you can see I'm just cranking out as many of them as I can.
Yes. Affirmative.
And then all you do is you just
Understood.
you destroy and then you creep up. And most of the time you can just let them shoot on their own. I mean, they do tend to like they spread their attacks. Like if you want to like target
Yes.
like this right here, you can. You just have to tell them. And the moment that they do, you can see like you can kill off the whole
Ready
vine.
to serve.
Then just as more and more of them come, they just get better and better. And you got to be careful because the more you go in, the more they can spread around behind you. So you sort of need troops to start protecting
Always
your
ready.
rear flank.
Understood. Ready for action.
And as you
Got
get
it.
more and more of them, it just gets a little easier. And then I'm going to tell them I
Yes.
want them to move up closer. And I mean, these guys are
Ready to serve.
level 1 max.
Affirmative.
They're really easy.
Yes. Understood.
But here you can see they're making their mark. And if I focus them, I could probably kill it off even quicker.
Ready to serve.
But it is nice because
got
they
it.
spread their fire everywhere, so they equally push everything
Always ready.
back. And then you're going to want to start creating like a guy that goes off on the flank. Because as these guys are pushing up the middle, you want this guy to be pushing the flank.
Ready for
But
action.
if you just
Yes.
kill this like one vein here,
Yes. You got it.
or kill the whole thing, then they all die. So there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It should be. It's an early mission, but when you're first figuring out the game, these are nice missions. They get you the feel. And as you can see, we got all of our objectives, so let's move on. Alright, so now... Here we go. Now we're going to finally get research. The research points are going to be critical, and this is where the missions start to get harder. Because right here, data archives are found on the planet, but they can be destroyed. And I'm telling you, they put these data archives in places that it's like, how am I supposed to get there? And I think some of the choices you have to make is you have to just be okay with letting it get destroyed. Now, when you get higher technologies, you are allowed to come back and do the missions again. So once you get the higher technologies, maybe you can go save those data archives. I don't know. I mean, it's like, and part of me is like, do I really want to come back and do these easier missions? I don't know. If you're a completionist, there is definitely a challenge to save every data archive. I will tell you that you don't have to save every data archive, and you'll still research almost everything you want. Which I'm very grateful for, because I don't like games that are so precise that you have to be perfect in order to succeed at it. This one, you can choose not to be perfect and still be successful. I am very grateful for that. Alright, so now they gave me 8 research points. And here you go. We got our first thing. These yellow circles, I haven't quite figured out what the yellow circles mean. Other than, you know, maybe it's necessary to get this unlocked. I don't fully understand what the yellow, not circles, but the yellow borders. I can tell you that these are 3 new units. Or this is 2 new units, and this is a building that you're unlocking. But see, this is not any of that. So I don't know the answers as to why those are colored in yellow. I do know that not all techs are created equal. So let's go through this real quick. They only gave us 8 points. This, you get a free harvester at the start of the game. And remember, those are 80 gold. And remember I told you that gold was our limiting factor. That is pretty awesome. This one, you get a free ranger at the start of the game. So you can use them to immediately start helping, you know, beat back things. This is your defense. This is when you finally get your machine guns I was telling you about on your hub. And you can see there's little lines here. So if we keep going down this path, the hub itself produces more power at the start of the game. So you're not so power constricted. Here you get 15 walls and 1 gate for free at the start of a mission. Here you get 2 machine gun turrets for free. So this is an extremely important path. Look at this one. You get 2 solar panels for free. I mean, if you're doing all the math, I mean, these are 60 each. That's 120 free gold. This is another 80 free gold. That's 200 free gold at the start of a mission. That is really huge at getting a fast start. And then this reduces the cost by 10%. So instead of it being 60, it'll, be 54 or whatever. Now this is an interesting thing. You basically get the ability to do an orbital drop, which you have to unlock every mission. You have to pay a ridiculous number of resources to even unlock this. It's not something you get early game. But basically, anywhere on the planet, you can drop troops. And it just costs gold. It doesn't cost any ore from the orbit. And so you can use them to parachute in, basically. I will tell you, okay, giving you my opinion, don't even waste your time with this. It's a complete waste of science and power, but it's only 3 research points at this point. But when you unlock the next pier, there's a whole chain of things you can unlock for the orbital drop. It's a waste of your time. Now, this one lets the harvesters bring in more, which is always good for your resource gathering. Your ranger has more health. Not as important, but what's important is it unlocks the bulwark health, and then it unlocks the new units and buildings. This is all important. Here you get extra capacity, so again, when you're launching into space, you're going to launch more than 100 ore. You'll now get 111. And then the refinery cost gets lower, which is very good, because that's less gold. And then your silo ore capacity, which we don't use very much, at least not yet, but you'll store more and once you create a silo. And all of these are unit-based things, which so the unit workshop will let you build these higher tier units. The ranger and the bulwark are available with your basic tier. This is the new higher tier building, which then lets you unlock a meteor and a solace. Now, when you start a mission, you still have to build this building, which is very expensive to build, and then you have to unlock each of these, which are also very expensive to unlock. And then and only then, after you've spent all those resources to build this and unlock these, can you build these new units. So it's very deceptive, because it makes it seem like, well, all I have to do is research them and now they're unlocked forever. Well, it's true, but you still have to generate a crap ton of resources to get to the point where you can start using these new units. Now, what are they? This one heals your troops, which are very nice to have. They're both very nice, to be quite honest. And then this one is a very long-range artillery fire. And it's very good because you could stay out of reach of the enemy and still, knock them down and destroy them. But until you get the resources to build this and then unlock them, you're relying on these 2 troops. For me, I'm a big fan of the bulwark. I really like them. I sparingly use the ranger. This connect damage is what the ranger does, and your machine gun towers. The explosive damage is what the bulwark and your meteor do, and then eventually you do unlock a tower that does explosive damage. Then down here, you're just upgrading the health, the damage, and the health again of the walls. So there you go. And then here, if there is any healing to be done, this improves the effect by 11%. And of course, the solace is your primary way of healing them. There are some other ways, but they're mission dependent. Okay, so what do I want to do? Well, first of all, I want the free 80 gold. And you could argue I want the free ranger. That's actually a tough choice. I actually think I want the extra minerals for where we are, but I want all 4 of these. Actually, I want all of these. But what's the priority, right? The priority is to get all the free stuff. Like, from the moment the mission starts, you get all these free things. Like, to me, that is the best priority. I know there's an argument to be made that, you know, this helps you to gather resources and generate, you know, revenue quicker. And I'm not arguing with that at all. I think that this is also something you want. I just think that the free stuff is more important. Yeah, let's take the deployment. We're going to take the free stuff. And then you can see I unlocked more, but we're out. So I don't have enough research. So we'll have to get more. And that's where the next mission comes in. And they're giving me choices now. I can choose one or the other. But I'm going to end it here and just see how much interest you guys have, and we can continue. Thanks a lot. And as always, stay awesome.